Hey button pushers, my name is Nick and welcome back to the life and suffering of Sir Brante and what is hopefully going to be my redemption. Because if you watched the playthrough up until the previous episode, you'll know I had a goal going into it and it didn't work. It didn't work at all. I died without really changing anything apart from tearing my family apart and bankrupting everyone, despite my best efforts. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to effectively start again, but I'm going to have the outcomes turned on. And I'm going to, now I know what's to come, I can gear my decisions based around that. So, chapter 1 is just childhood. So, from birth up until, you're 6 years old or something? I'm going to do it. I would do exactly the same. So we're going to just start from the beginning of chapter 2. And my plan is to, first of all, save Sophia. Because every step of the way I had interactions with Sophia where I wanted to do something and then couldn't do something, which then had a roll-on impact to everything else. So I'm obviously going to save Sophia. So I need to make sure I have willpower. And the other stuff, not so fussed about. Chapter 3 is going to be where it gets really interesting, because I'm going to do the same sort of path. I'm going to join the Lotless, but I need to make sure that we end the chapter with the Lotless at large, which means I need to have manipulation 13, which I didn't before, so I need to gear towards manipulation. But with the outcomes visible, we'll be able to kind of guide that. So this is what I'm going for. And then obviously moving into chapter 4, I'm thinking that the best option is going to be either the Last Straw's riot, so the Last Straw breaks free of its chains and incites a full-blown uprising against the Empire, or together with Mayor Egmont's, the Last Straw incites a rebellion among the common folks to fight for their rights. Because my whole thing is that I really hate the Lots, I hate what they stand for, and I want them to change. I don't know which one of these is going to necessarily do that. I'm leaning more towards the Last Straw's riot. We'll play it by ear. We've got a bit of time before we get to that. And yeah, chapter 5, never even got there last time, so don't know. So right, what we're gonna do now, we're gonna jump back to chapter 2, and we're gonna try this again. So we have rewound to Adolescence. Everything I read through in the full playthrough, I'm not gonna sit here and read through for this video. I'll obviously read it for myself because then I can keep an eye on what's going on. Any new scenes that come up, I'll obviously read through as if we've never seen them before, because we won't have seen them before. But I'll give kind of updates on everything as we're going, so you can keep up with everything. But if you want to see everything in full details, then obviously go back to the full playthrough when I did that. So wish me luck, and we'll see how this goes for me. Okay, so how am I at the moment with... That's a problem. That could potentially be a problem when it comes to the Sophia. Yeah, I think that's quite early in this chapter. Okay, I might have to go back and redo chapter 1. We'll see. If I need to, I will. Okay, so I have an opportunity to get some willpower here. So this is the this is our introduction to Thomas. So Nathan's basically been pushed in a ditch by Thomas's brother, and we need to do something. None of these are good because Nathan's not grateful. Ungrateful little shits. Nobility, ingenuity, spirituality, I don't know. I'll stick with what I did originally, so resolve the matter peacefully. I'm thinking I am going to have to go back and redo chapter 1 to get my momentum up. Momentum willpower up. Yep, okay, we're going back to chapter 1. Damn it! Stupid willpower. It's always been a problem. I'll jump to the choices, and we can discuss. Okay, so our first choice straight off the bat. So as we're being born, we see a soft open palm, a strong closed fist, and a lingering distant shadow. As willpower is what we want from life at the moment, it's gonna be smile at the shadow. Full of power, baby. So this is how that feels. Literally spent half the game before just constantly striving for willpower. And then at the point when I actually had loads of willpower, I couldn't do bugger all with it. It was very upsetting. Okay, so I've been playing hide and seek with Stefan and Gloria. They've left me, and nobody's come to check on me in a while, so I sat there and waited before. But if I cry loudly, I get plus 10 willpower. Do I want to cry? Do I want the willpower, or do I want the determination? Sorry. We're going for willpower. I'm going to cry like a little baby. You take a deep, deep breath and start bawling. This is the loudest you've ever cried. It's a cry of sheer terror. The cry of a boy waiting to be found. A boy whose brother and sister hurt his feelings when they left him all alone. Which, to be fair, I'm a baby and you've left me in a bush. Right. You hear brisk steps, then the leaves and twigs rustling and parting. Mother leans over you. So that's where they took you. Your tears dry the moment you see her. You greet her with glee. There's no reason to be afraid anymore. Mother picks you up, puts you to her chest and pats you on the head. Your brother and sister stand behind her, clearly feeling guilty. Gloria's in tears, just like you. Stefan keeps staring at his feet. You hug Mother tightly. She's here now. Oh, so much willpower! I love it! So this is what it's like to actually play this game properly. Who knew? So the Great Descent, basically me and Gloria have been chucked in an attic because we haven't been assigned our lots yet, I guess. Yeah, me and Gloria have been chucked in an attic and she's singing us songs or prayers. I will finish the song properly. I'll go for perception. Which, yeah, this is what I did before. So I have 1 perception and a metric ton of willpower. Stefan has been, he was practicing sword fighting with a stick. I've gone out to play with him and I've been his annoying little brother. He's hit me with a stick. I have then retaliated, but obviously because he is of noble descent and I am a mere commoner, that is just outrageously sacrilegious. So I'm being punished by Mother. So I can either accept my punishment, which will knock down a bit of willpower, but does make Lydia grateful and Stefan like me a little bit more, deny guilt. So I'm gonna accept my punishment, which I didn't do before. So it'll knock me down a little bit of willpower, but it will help overall relations. You look down and agree with what she's just said. You're ready to be punished. You start apologising to Stefan, but he turns his back on you. Before you can finish, Mother takes your hand and leads you away. You do not want to follow her. Your hands are getting sweaty, and your legs are growing heavy. And there is in fact vomit on my sweater already. Then suddenly, she stops and bends down to be closer to you, looking you straight in the eyes. My son, I see you understand our lot now. We do not defy, we suffer. That is our only path to the twins after all our deaths. Our only way to reach eternal bliss atop the peak of the pillar. Our virtue is meekness. We are humble in our words. We work hard. We think what is right. You have shown all of this. I'm so proud of you. She hugs you, and you finally release the pent-up tears. You feel much more at ease now. You're flogged in front of your entire family. The pain burns on your skin again and again, but you feel the touch of the divine law with each blow. Yeesh. Okay, I've still got 15 willpower. It's alright, it's all good. It's all good, baby. Okay, so Gloria has got in trouble for writing rhymes, which obviously commoners aren't allowed to do that. Commoners don't have feelings, therefore they cannot write them down. It's, again, sacrilegious. So I have the option, these two I can't do, so I can either comfort Gloria, which will again knock my willpower down a little bit to 10, which I think is probably okay, and it improves my relations with Gloria. Or I can leave the room and get willpower. I'm going to comfort Gloria, and then I need to start being more careful about the willpower, because my problem is... Well, not my problem. My thinking is I need to try and maintain relations with the family, because that's where it all went so horribly wrong before, is that I hadn't balanced the family relations properly, and it all just crumbled. So throughout this whole thing, I need to be paying attention to that. But yeah, I'm now on 10 willpower, so I do need to be a little bit more careful about that. Hopefully I won't regret these last couple of decisions. But we'll see. So Stefan and Gloria have just received their sacrament. My relations with Stefan were always going to take a hit after that because he's a stuck-up little shit. And now Nathan's been born. Ha ha ha. Okay, so something I could do when I originally played the demo of this, but I couldn't do in my playthrough, and I can do now. So basically, Nathan is that he's that baby that just doesn't sleep. So mother is very stressed, very sleep deprived. He won't stop crying. She's lost her shit and is kind of effectively shaking the baby, which is something that you don't ever want to do. So you go in and you have to do something. So I am going to hug mother because I don't lose any willpower, the family unity goes up, and mama loves me even more. You walk up to mother quickly and lock her tightly in an embrace. Your arms are too short and the folds of her green dress get in the way, but that doesn't stop you. She shudders at your unexpected touch and tries to free herself. Let me go! Stop tormenting me! But you only latch onto her even tighter. There's no way you're letting her go now. Not even if she screams at you or hits you. No way. You're here now. You will protect her and comfort her. Nathan stops screaming, and an odd sobbing sound escapes his little baby mouth, as if he's too tired to scream. Mother accepts your sudden presence now. You feel her relax, and her movements become calmer. There is still no way you're letting go. Not yet. Then you hear a quiet song, your mother's song. She's singing a lullaby to Nathan. He squeaks a little, then starts snoring quietly. Then you calm down as well. Mother is now calmer in your embrace. Nathan is breathing quietly in his sleep. Now please let me go, dear. I have to put Nathan to bed. You release mother, and she puts Nathan back in the crib. After a little pause, she turns to you. Her face is still weary, but there's no sign of anger. She sits down next to you. Thank you, my son. The twins know I didn't want to hurt you or Nathan. I'm so sorry. Please don't be angry with me. You did what you needed to. You gave me the strength to work through this. She hugs you tightly. You do the same and press your forehead against hers. She smells like home. Your tears finally start to flow. They're tears of happiness now. She pats you on the head and kisses your forehead. Nathan is sleeping quietly in his crib. It feels so good when things are as they should be. +1 relationship with Mama, and the family is at peace. All is right with the world. For now. That's the caveat. For now. And now I'm 5. Is this true, Niklaus? Did you strike the son of a nobleman? So, I've gone to a toy shop with father because I was about to start school and he wanted to get me something nice. I found a set of toy soldiers that I liked, and the kid of a nobleman decided to try and take them from me, and he pushed me and I pushed him back because I ain't down with that. And then he cried and told his daddy, who was outraged, and now we're here. So I can deny my guilt and get willpower, tell him the truth and get determination, or admit my guilt. But then Robert Brante is grateful. Oh no, because I lose willpower. I don't want to lose willpower. I don't want to lose willpower. I'm going to deny my guilt. It's not like it negatively impacts any relations if I don't do that, so. You hide behind your father and deny all wrongdoings. The boy was just too clumsy. Now the two fathers come face to face. Your father is calm, while the enraged nobleman pelts him with insults and reaches for his sword again and again. The insults do not stop. In the end, the nobleman challenges father to a duel. There's only one way to protect the family honour. Father grudgingly accepts this challenge. Oh, what? They bring him home much later with a fresh wound in his side and another on his shoulder. You spend the entire day by his bedside doing whatever he says, overcome with a mixture of shame, guilt, and gratitude. Even though father rarely shows it, he would readily risk everything for his family. When father's wounds heal, he brings you the belated present, the little box full of soldiers, the holy order made of tin. You line the warriors up in a battle formation. Only one thought on your mind. Your family is always by your side. I did not see it going that way. I have a load of willpower now, but I kind of wish that my father hadn't been stabbed because of me. I'm also really pleased that didn't negatively impact family. Oh, good. The family dinner. Gregor Bronte is coming home. That's the downside of replaying things. I have to live through Gregor's reign of terror once more. So grandfather's come home and basically torn the entire house to shreds, like, metaphorically. And the cherry on the cake for him was seeing the toy soldiers in my room, me being a commoner. I don't have the rights to even play armies, so he's taken them and dumped them in the fire. And I have two options. I can burst into tears or I can strike grandfather. Okay. So either way, my relationship with Gregor goes down. So I can either take 5 willpower, take a hit on 5 willpower, or gain in determination and perception, but I do die if I do this. Okay, I'm going to burst into tears because it's a hit of 5 willpower, but I don't know how many other times I'm going to die in this run through, because there's a chance I could die multiple times, and that's the last thing I want to do is run out of deaths. So I'm pretty sure this is what I did before, so yeah, he hates me, but that's fine because I hate him. Because he is a shit. He's the shittiest of shits. Okay, so very much in line with Gregor being the shittiest of shits, he has decided that Lydia is not a fitting wife for Robert, so he's arranged for a baroness to come and visit. And basically he's trying to set Robert up with a new wife while his current wife is already there, because, as I said, he's a shitbag. So I can either greet the Baroness politely, which ups the reputation, negates on the unity a little bit, and then does all sorts of weird stuff with the family. Walk away with mother. Maintain your composure. Okay, that gives me a hit on willpower. I'm thinking I'm just going to do maintain your composure, because that doesn't screw with the stats too badly. I don't like it. I think I'd rather do walk away with mother. Sorry, I'm going to do walk away with mother. I'm still going to stick with, like, if I've got options like that, I'm still going to stick with kind of what feels right, instead of just going full, like, towards the stats. I still want to kind of be able to look at myself in the mirror. You turn your back on the Baroness and walk to mother. You walk upstairs to her room, hand in hand. Behind your backs, stunned silence reigns in the antechamber. Soon, the two of you are alone. A burden falls from mother's shoulders. She embraces you. Together, you wait until the dinner ends and the Baroness leaves. You didn't betray me. If only you could feel how grateful I am right now. The morning after, father leaves for Eternal with grandfather to visit Stefan. And Gregor said that basically, because by this point Stefan's gone off to the city to live at boarding school, but Gregor was basically withholding Stefan from Robert until he agreed to this date. It's all just pretty fucked. He returns from the capital in a quiet rage. You overhear your parents talking. Apparently grandfather has already poisoned Stefan's mind against him, and he greeted father with cold hostility. The name of Baroness El Lodar is never mentioned in this house again. Okay, so -1 with daddy, +1 with mama, -1 for Gregor. Oh yeah, tarnished honor. That's fine. Honor doesn't really play a part until like much later in the game, so that's fine. I haven't really got to worry about that yet, I don't think. So Gloria has come in with a kaleidoscope, and I've basically spent all day playing with it. That's literally the summary of this chapter. So I can either take the kaleidoscope apart, which I lose willpower, but I do gain perception. Keep looking through the kaleidoscope, or return to my studies. Well, I'm just going to keep looking through the kaleidoscope. Just keep racking up that willpower. So I'm now on 25 willpower, which is, you know, excessively large amounts. Okay, this is something I wanted to do before, but I was scared I was going to die. So basically Gregor has got up and gone for his afternoon walk, and Gloria has decided, oh look, there's sweets over there. Let's go have one. So we do. We go over, we have one. Well, I have one. Gloria's just about to have one. And Gregor comes back and catches us. Well, basically he smacks Gloria in the face, she falls over. He then sees me hiding behind the sofa, and then I have to choose what to do next. So I'm going to mock grandfather along with your sister, because he already hates me, and I hate him, and it improves my relations with Gloria, so yeah, it's fine. And it looks like I'm not going to die, but we'll see. You jump up and try to shield Gloria. Then you start boasting right in his face. Yes, you did eat the sugary treat, and it was very much the opposite of sweet. Good thing Gloria didn't have time to eat hers, or it would have disappointed her too. Gloria catches on in a moment. Yeah, sugary treats are for fat noble kids, but they're gross to us. We're just commoners. You continue her train of thoughts. Why, we simply got curious after Stefan started boasting about it. He told us that these treats are so good. You could eat them forever, but no. Your older brother lied. They're simply unbearable. But then again, what else would you expect from Grandfather's darling Stefan? Grandfather's face is red with rage. He strikes you both with his walking stick blow for blow. You dare mock me! I will not let this stand! Know your place, you foul low-born scum! I have zero regrets about this, apart from the fact I'm being flogged, because anything to annoy him is always entertaining. He keeps hitting you until he grows tired, and then he leaves you where you are, muttering in impotent rage. Soon enough, Mother comes in to find the two of you on the floor. Too afraid to move, she shakes her head in disappointment. You're badly hurt and covered in bruises, yet she still forces you to kneel and recite the precepts of the lots and how important it is that you follow them. Gloria's face is bruised and swollen, but she still gives you a weak smile. We got him so riled up. Two commoners made an honourable noble feel helpless. Makes all the pain worth it. Isn't that right, brother? Your entire body hurts from the heavy blows, but deep inside, you're ecstatic. You stood up to Grandfather today. It's a victory you'll remember for the rest of your life. Nice. Yeah, I have no regrets about that at all. It's Sacrament Day. So I'm receiving my sacrament. I think I'm going to kiss the sword, because I'm going to go for the Nobleman's Sacrament again. Because I think that's not a bad starting point to be for the arc that I want to follow. So I'm going to kiss the sword, which is what I did on the main playthrough. So as they go to whip me, I basically move out of the way, kiss the sword that the nobles have to kiss. And then I get flogged anyway, I get whipped anyway, but it's basically me going... Yeah, I lost 10 willpower on that, but it's fine, I still have 15. It's all good. Okay. And that is the end of childhood. I've just done in like 20 minutes what it took me 2 hours to do before. Okay, so how are we looking? Determination 2, Perception 1, Willpower 15, which is better than the -5 I was on before. Cool. Into adolescence we go.
I was growing up fast. The school, the streets, and the whole wide world awaited me beyond the gate of my parents' house.
Okay, so obviously, yeah, this first one is our introduction to Thomas. So I might go for nobility, because I'm curious to see what Stefan's disgrace is. Curious, because I never found that out before. So, nobility. Come on, Thomas, and give him a beating. Yeah! The bold-faced bully is taller and clearly stronger, but nobody talks to you like that. You leap at Thomas and start tearing into him. He jumps backwards, surprised by your assault. It takes him a moment to compose himself, but now he's ready. His fists cover the face, and he attacks you with a quick jab. It's now your turn to take a step backwards. You start trading blows, huffing and puffing with rage. The younger brothers gawk in awe at the sight. Thomas does not resort to any fancy moves, dirty tricks, or stupid taunts. He displays nothing but skill earned in many a street fight, and his heavy fists aim for your head. You keep dodging him again and again, trying to reach him. He takes a couple of glancing blows, but easily shakes them off. What a bruiser. You start swinging your fists with greater and greater fury. Your heart is pounding like a hammer. You see nothing but the foe in front of you. How much longer will this take? You're worn out. Your breath grows ragged and your muscles grow heavy. But there's no way you can give up now. Nathan's watching you. Desperate and out of options, you swing and punch Thomas square in the nose, then immediately let his fist smack you in the temple. The blow rings through your head like a bell and blinds you for a moment. The world swims before your eyes. You clutch at your head to get your bearings. Thomas is standing in front of you, blood dripping from his nose. You no longer want to fight it out. And it seems your opponent would rather end it too. But you keep standing there, eyeing each other angrily. Then, suddenly, you hear an angry shout right next to you. An enraged man in a craftsman apron is shaking his fist. Thomas's face contorts in terror right away. It's my father! Run! Okay, so this is all the same. So you run away and then you think, you know what? Let's be friends. So it'll be interesting to see if this playthrough, my relationship with Thomas, can maintain its trajectory like it did before, because that was the one good thing that came out of the last playthrough was Thomas. That was my one good thing that I did, was my relationship with him. But we'll see. Let's save Sophia from getting trampled by horses. Oh, this is great for all of my stats. Love it. Okay, so yeah, basically she was going to get trampled by horses that were in the road. So I can stop that from happening. Whereas before I had no willpower and just had to stand there and watch her die. You throw yourself blindly into the road, swinging your arms wildly. Dazed by the sound of thundering hooves, you can see nothing in the dust. For a brief moment, the horses slow down, just long enough for Sophia to get back on her feet and flee to the roadside. But then the riders dig their spurs. Dozens of hooves knock you off your feet and roll across your body. Your bones crack, break, and crumble. Your ears are ripped apart by the thundering rhythm of the ride. Your innards are pulverized. The last thing you remember is the sound of your own skull caving in. This is also why I hadn't even considered that. I knew I was going to die at this point, but it's a good thing that I didn't let Grandfather kill me, because then I would be like 2 deaths up already. Then, you can feel again. You sense your body, head, arms, legs. The light fades around you, obedient before a will that is stronger than you. You return to the world. Such is the law of the twins. You will return to the world until your time of true death. And in this world you will have a body with which to feel pain and suffering and pleasure. You smell a sickly, moist odour. You open your eyes and see the figures of mother and father in the gloom of the family crypt, speaking to each other quietly. They stop as soon as they hear you gasp. Mother runs to you and locks you in an embrace as father wraps you in his cloak. Neither of them say a word as they lead you out to the surface and back home. You've met a terrible end, my son. You were trampled by those horses. Don't be so careless ever again. The lives you were granted by the twin gods are not to be wasted so recklessly. You would be punished for this, but the twins have already meted out their punishment. You tremble, your steps unsteady as you learn how to move again. Your body is eerily smooth, fresh, and renewed. Even the recent scars and scratches are all gone. There's something new on it, a fresh black mark, a reminder of your lesser death beneath those hooves. Remember that by the twins' mercy, we are all given enough time in this world. Should you die before your time, you will be brought back by their grace. For 3 times they will rescue you from a terrible fate, but the 4th death is true and final for all. Every loss of life we were granted at our birth is a heavy blow to us, but the gods told us not to mourn a lesser death, and so we will humbly accept this and move on. See, your body has been reborn anew, so all your wounds healed. Do not mourn your loss of life, my son, but thank the twin gods for their justice. Do not speak of this, and do not ever play by the road again if you wish to keep on living. You cautiously go back outside the next day. Children from the neighbourhood surround you. They all saw you get trampled, and now they all ask you the same question. What was it like to die? Thomas rescues you from their pestering. He pushes the motley crew aside, hugs you, and pats you on the back. Look at you, buddy. You gave an entire life to keep a girl safe. Then you see Sophia. She's standing nearby, shyly working up the courage to walk over to you. Soon, she finally approaches you and begins to speak rapidly. Niklaus, why did you throw yourself in front of those horses? My life isn't worth anything more than yours, so why did you do that? You weren't supposed to die there. It was all those riders' fault. They deserved to die, not you. Her voice rises to a shriek. She suddenly stops and runs back home. You stay where you are, watching her run, the golden rays of sun dancing in her braided hair. Okay. My first death. Ooh, and I got an achievement. Nice. Cool. So this is going to help, I think, with the Sophia choices at the end of this chapter. and then also moving into youth as well. Okay, so Stefan has come home, and because he's been in the city and been surrounded by nobles and nobility for so long, he is an insufferable piece of shit. And a servant who was serving us dinner spilt something on him. Gregor has banished all servants from the living room, which meant obviously there was no one to serve food. And then Stefan decided to say, oh, there's commoners here that could do it for us. So Mother and Gloria. So I can insult my brother, which gives me bad blood with Stefan, which I don't want, because bad blood with Stefan is not a good thing to have. I can make small talk over dinner and get up nobility and up with Gregor Brante. I don't really care about the Gregor Brante thing, but I do want to increase my nobility. Or I can join Gloria, which improves things with Gloria. I'm going to make small talk because I'm very curious about Stefan's secret. And I think I need 4 for that. 4 nobility for that. Moving stiffly, Gloria takes the wine pitcher and starts refilling the glasses. You turn away from your sister, eager to distract yourself from her presence somehow. So you ask Sir Elborn how you may contribute to the family legacy. He turns to you, clearly relieved. Oh, your eagerness to support the family betrays your noble bearing, young man. It is simple. Always remember that you are a Brante. Your family has a path of its own. You must follow in the footsteps of your father and grandfather to learn the judge's trade. Not happening. I'm a lotless baby. You keep asking questions about the life and duty of a nobleman, trying not to look as Gloria continues to serve the table. Sir Elborn is eager to explain. A nobleman must always live with honour in his mind, but the imperial law stands higher. There are 3 lots and 3 estates. Naturally, they can never be equal. Yet the law must govern those who live within each estate. You have a hard time understanding some of the things the prefect of Margaret says, but his intellect is stunning. The dinner ends. Gloria takes away the last of the dirty dishes and disappears quietly from the dining room. Sir Elborn cordially bids you farewell. Grandfather and Stefan are still as haughty as ever, but they are clearly pleased. Pleased with what, you wonder? The dinner? Or glorious humiliation? Then, you go to sleep. Your sister is sobbing in the next room loud enough that you hear her. Oh, Gloria. She definitely has a shit run of things in this game. Our first glimpse at an Archnean. A beautiful Archnean at that. Who has dropped her handkerchief. I did try and give the handkerchief back to her last time because I thought, ooh, maybe she'll appreciate this. And if I was going for a nobility playthrough, I probably would do that again, but she has a henchman basically break my face, so no, I'm not going to do that. Plus, that costs me willpower, so no. So I can stash the trophy, which +5 willpower and +1 for Thomas, or I can just keep the handkerchief as a memento and get extra willpower. I'm going to go for extra willpower, I think. So you watch the Archnean lady depart, trying to burn her every movement into your memory. Goodbye, Lady Octavia. You carefully observe Lady Octavia as she leaves. Her delicate figure moves through the square like a waking dream. Her elegant hands gliding through the air, her hair flowing in the light breeze. Your eyes watch all of her. She returns to the carriage, leaning on a guardsman's shoulder as she gracefully climbs back inside. The soft handkerchief feels warm in your hand. You fold it carefully and hide it in your pocket. The carriage drives away, marked by the thudding rhythm of hooves. Until that day, you associated the Melanidas dynasty with nothing but indifferent cruelty. But now, your breast pocket holds the proof of yet another quality they possess. Beauty. I think it's good that I remember her that way and not from the broken face. Oh, 12 years old. Okay, so I've started school, and it's just before my exams. So I'm studying, and I have a whole bunch of different stuff going on. So I can either focus on law and history, which pleases father and increases my nobility, which I think is what I'm going to do because I want the nobility. I can go help Thomas, which will apparently our fort that we'd built is going to be raided, so that'll get my ingenuity up, which I don't really care about at the moment. Study theology, which would please mother and increase my spirituality because she wants me to go into the church. Or spend a moment with Nathan, which would increase my willpower and my relations with Nathan, but my willpower's fine at the moment, so I'm going to do law and history. You push Nathan out of the room. He can't possibly help you prepare for the exam. Oh, Nathan, sweet little Nathan. Soon your eyes start to hurt from all the legal terms and chronologies and titles of imperial edicts. You repeat everything, every single line of it, until your head hurts and your vision begins to blur. When Father walks in, he chuckles in approval. You fall asleep right there, amidst the books. The morning comes. You barely have the time to wake up before you walk into the menacing edifice of the school. Time for law. All the students sit glued to their benches in terror. Your teacher's voice singles you out. If a commoner insults a nobleman's honour, how ought he be dealt with according to imperial law? Bring the commoner to the prefecture, where the judge will sentence him to corporal punishment. And what if a nobleman takes a commoner's life by negligence or whim? The noble is fined by the provincial authorities. Surprising even yourself, you give the correct answers to these questions and the many more that follow. The next subject is the history of the Blessed Arcanian Empire. You masterfully recount the history of every province as they merged with the Empire, from Monia to Magra. Then you recite the names of every Tempest who has ruled the Empire. You conquer every question the teacher asks you without confusing a single date. You get the highest grade in law and history, and an average grade in theology. You relay the teacher's praise to Father over dinner. He smiles, pleased with you. Well done, my son. I can see how hard you must have been working. Keep at it, and you will be among the Empire's greatest servants. I am proud of you. Nice. Hey, here we go. Forbidden love. This event is a consequence of your previous actions, so I'm going to get all the dirt on Stefan. Spill the tea, bitch. Another day of school is behind you. You're now wandering your district, taking your time before going home. It's getting dark. Soon you're walking past the splendid mansion of Count El Velasco, one of Magra's richest landlords. You hear a familiar voice from the other side of the iron fence. It's Stefan's voice. It's followed by the sound of a young lady laughing. You peek through the fence and into the mansion's garden, and indeed, there you see your older brother, dressed like he's going to meet the Emperor himself. He's currently busy helping a pretty young lady out the window. She locks him in an emotional embrace. You recognise her, Maria El Velasco, Count El Velasco's daughter. And as the whole city knows, she is already betrothed to another young nobleman from a far more illustrious family. I thought I would help you come down to earth from your heavenly abode, but your very touch brings me to the heavens. Oh, Stefan, that's smooth. He picks the Count's daughter up and holds her in the air. She laughs, almost imperceptibly, and kisses him on the cheek. But then Stefan takes her by the chin and turns her to face him. Their lips join in a kiss. A flurry of emotion washes over you as you watch it happen. Stefan is putting the reputation of his entire family at risk. Acting so frivolously with the Count's daughter may turn the Count's influence against the Brontes. And yet, Stefan always speaks so highly of noble bearing, and composure, and family honour. Stefan's face is glowing with joy. Your older brother, he's happy. Truly happy. Never seen Stefan like this, and his arms hold the Count's daughter in a tender embrace, so gently, as though he fears to hurt her. And Maria reciprocates his feelings. Must you really rob them of their secret joy? If you ever speak to him about this, no one else must hear it. You wait by the gate patiently until Stefan decides to return from his escapades. You're startled when he finally notices you standing by the gate. Remind him of what a nobleman's honour means. If Stefan keeps acting like this, he'll bring disgrace upon the entire family. Aid Stefan in his cause. You promise you'll keep your brother's secrets. Okay. Let's think about this. Okay, well, if I go for the ingenuity option, aid Stephen in his cause, which is fine, I've got no issue doing that. Because if I get up to ingenuity 4, which I don't know if I'll be able to, but if I get up to ingenuity 4, then I can get Gloria's secret as well, which would be interesting to see. Let's go for that. I've got no issue helping Stefan as much as he is a shit. Who am I to stand in his way? I'll help him. What are you doing here at this late hour, Niklaus? Is there something you wish to tell me? You confess to Stefan that you saw him today in the El Velasco garden with the Count's daughter. The affair puts both families' honour at risk. Yet you say you're happy for him. You can see how much he cares for her. No matter what, it's worth the risk. Stefan can trust you with the secret, you assure him. The two of you will keep it together. Stefan reacts to you with anger at first, but your supportive words calm him down. You've got all the makings of a professional spy. Be alright, the risk is too great. Your aid will not go amiss. You're no nobleman yet, but I hope your word is worth my trust. From that day on, you help Stefan and Maria avoid attention on many occasions. You even have to distract El Velasco's manservants and lead them away on a wild goose chase through the district. In the end, you're never caught, and you earn your brother yet another night with his beloved. They're both aware that the days of their hidden love are numbered. But how will your escapades affect the family's reputation? You and your brother agree, whatever happens, happens. Young love is worth this risk. Well, it's actually quite nice. Ah, yes, Diedrich. The school bully. Constant scorn of Thomas. So he's been picking on Thomas, and it's all kind of come to a head. Thomas is currently pinned down by 4 of Diedrich's cronies, and we have to step in. So challenge Diedrich to a fight. Turn him over to the teachers. Admonish the nobleman's sons. Shake Diedrich's hand. Turn him over to the teachers because I want the ingenuity, and also it's an okay suggestion. You fold your arms across your chest and declare that Diedrich and his followers will pay dearly for their insolence. Their parents may be nobles, but they are not yet nobles themselves. Here at school, we are all equals. I'm telling on you. Diedrich's entourage is about to swarm you too, but the teacher of Imperial Law comes into the room just in time. Everybody immediately returns to their seats. Once the lesson is over, you tell the teacher how Diedrich and his friends have been starting fights and picking on people. They're the children of nobles, yet not nobles themselves, which means they're guilty of defying their lot and encouraging other students to do the same. The law teacher furrows his brow when he hears this. He assembles all the students and admonishes them. Any student caught in the defiance of his lot will no longer be welcome at the school. The twins are always watching over us, and the school will not suffer the presence of troublemakers who defy their will. The nobleman's sons reluctantly agree. There's no good reason to risk picking on nobles when the punishment is so high. To say Diedrich is angry at you would be an understatement, but he can no longer hurt you or Thomas. The bullying stops. Nice. Cool, one more. And I will get Gloria's secrets. Collecting all the secrets. So we have gone on a school trip to the Silver Tree, and I've had a strange lady tell me, hey, guess what? The lots are shit. I can tell you more. And there's a girl who said, don't listen to this red-haired lady. She's a crazy person. And then also the tree is speaking to me. So it's all just all over the place. So I can follow the girl into the temple. Ah, that gets me matter of a heart. And I get to know Shin. Shen! Oh, I know her from the end of the game. Ah, she becomes a big player in the church. Ah, who knew? Who knew? I might follow the girl into the temple. Because I get a matters of the heart for doing that. I lose 5 willpower, but it's okay. But I get to know Shen. And I didn't do this before, so this will be interesting. You turn your back on the suspicious preacher and follow the girl inside. She introduces herself to you along the way. Her name is Jen. The temple is filled with lights. It's separated into 2 halves, just like the temple in your district. One for the commoners and one for the nobles. Yet this temple is far more grand than that one. You see 2 towering statues by the altar, carved with impeccable detail. They depict the twins. The elder bears an empathetic smile, and the younger has a stern look about him. They're depicted in the garments of pilgrims, frozen in their eternal journey to meet one. My uncle is one of the priests in this temple. I'm an acolyte. I work in the temple. I help him clean the temple and cook food for the poor, and I also greet the worshippers. People come here all the time. Many are lost and they don't know where to go once they're inside. But nobody should feel lost in this place. The temple is for all the estates. Jen's face is no longer angry. The red-haired preacher is long forgotten. She's like a warm ray of light under the roof of the grand, bright temple. You ask her a question. Is she happy in her service to the twins? Of course I am. This is where I belong. Inside the temple, I feel the twins watching over me all the time. When I'm with them, I'm never afraid. Never sad. She looks at the statues when she mentions the twins and smiles at them as if they were her close friends. Do you feel it too? You too turn your eyes to face the twin gods. You feel the eyes of the elder upon you. They feel warm, warm like mother's loving words. You feel virtue and order in the eyes of the younger. They feel like father's words of pride and respect. I knew it. I knew you could feel it. It's so easy when you're in the temple. But they watch over us all the time, you know? Just pray from your heart and remember how it feels all the time. Even back home. Even on a long, long journey. Jen's voice is clear and insistent. As you listen to her, you just barely touch the palm of your hand that held hers a moment ago. Maybe it's just a delusion, but that hand feels warmer now. You keep looking back at the tree all the way home, but it's not the tree you see. You see Jen's brown eyes, filled with inscrutable wisdom. Interesting. Near Klaus and Jen, sitting in a tree. I mean, this is a non-decision, this one, so Lily has filled me in on the kind of the family backstory, how her and Robert came to be married, how Gloria came to be brought into the world, and her kind of not so pleasant origins and everything. So yeah, obviously I'm still accepting Gloria as my sister, because why wouldn't I? I think if I was going for the real hardcore nobility route, that's the only time I would ever do that, which is I think I'm gonna do as another playthrough. But for now, no. No. Gloria is and will remain my sister for the duration of this playthrough. Whether or not she becomes a Brante in this playthrough, I'm not so sure. So this would be an interesting one. So the nobleman's lot. So Stefan is at home, being Stefan as usual. Then Nathan comes in and says that Gloria is nowhere to be seen. He knew she was going off to some nearby ruins, which were dangerous. So me and Stefan go to look for her, and she's currently surrounded by a group of ruffians who plan on doing all manner of unpleasant things to her. So Stefan orders them to stop in the name of nobility. They refuse. So before I follow my brother's orders, this time I'm going to call the guards. I'm going to leave the fighting to Stefan and run for help, because I think he's got it in hand. He's fine. I don't think he'll die. I hope he doesn't die. But it gets my ingenuity up. And really, if he dies, I'll live. The louts try and flank Stefan and surround him. Your brother's sword thrusts and feigns methodically, like in a training bout. The thugs keep dodging and jumping away. They've managed to stay safe so far. If things continue like this, soon one of them will flank Stefan, kick the sword out of his hand, and bring him down. The ruffians are paying no attention to you, however. Stefan slashes with his sword. One of the young men falls. The others rush at your brother. You get Gloria back on her feet as she stares at you in astonishment. It's time to find the guards. You find guards dressed in the Archduke's colours patrolling the nearby district. You tell them that a gang of low-born thugs have assaulted a young nobleman. But when you make your way back, the lout's bodies are already fading away. Stefan is on his feet, his sword sinking into the last foe left standing. He smiles at you faintly. Then his eyes roll back into his head, and he collapses. The guards help you bring Stefan back home. Grandfather sends for the doctor the moment he sees that his favourite grandson is unconscious. The doctor quickly brings Stefan back to his senses and bandages the injuries on his left arm. Sir Gregor never leaves Stefan's side. You acted like a true nobleman, Stefan. You fought for the family's honour, even though you needn't have risked your life for that freeloading wench. The burden of a noble is a tough one to bear. We must obey our lot so that the lowly estate may toil for theirs. But when the low-born scum grow insolent, we must be there to put them in their place. Now, I fully believe that, thanks to you. The Brante name will be written in the Blue Book, my boy. Your deeds will forever be remembered in our family's blood tide, and all us will be there. You, your father, all of us. Words cannot express how proud I am of you. You leave your brother's side without word. Grandfather will never recognise you as Stefan's equal and father's true heir. He will never treat you as part of the family. He thinks you will not add a single worthy deed to the family's blood tide. You, Nathan, mother. He acts like all of you are unworthy to even bear the Brante name. Had you acted differently that night? Would grandfather be proud of you? Who knows? Who, honestly, gives a shit what Gregor thinks? I don't. This event is a consequence of your previous actions. Nice. Love it. Love new story content. Today, you and Thomas are to explore the streets of the castle district. You delve deep into the district, right to the old siege walls of Anazot. The city needs these walls no longer. There are no more enemies left for the Empire to fight. Since the twins descended and chose the Tempest dynasty to rule the Empire, it has spread one sea to sea, bringing its rules and peace for many generations. The two of you gaze in awe at the old charcoal black marks on the former fortress walls. They say magic wielders during Shah Malanadas's rebellion could conjure gusts of fire with their own hands. The rebellious Duke fought against the Emperor and the Church of the Twin Gods in the days of yore, but nothing remains of his rebellion now, save for scorched ruins and parched land throughout Nagra. You and your friends study the old walls and daydream about the battles that took place here during the rebellion, but then you hear a muffled voice coming from somewhere below the ground. You look around and find a hole in the brickwork where the sounds are coming from. Naturally, you take a peek. You see a half-ruined hall built below the ground and a handful of young men and women standing there in the dark. They look a little bit older than you and are wearing plain shirts and dresses. A young man is standing on a piece of crumbled wall, reciting some of his poetry. It tells the story of a nobleman who fell into a puddle thanks to his gaudy cloak, and none of his noble bearing was of any help. He ends it with a farcical bow. You hear applause and laughter. He gets down from the crumbled wall and a young girl takes his place. You can't see her face in the darkness, but hers is a voice you could recognise anywhere. It's Gloria. Your sister begins to recite a poem she's written. Nay, Gloria, yours is no proper life. You are to be a mother and a wife. Accept the kitchen apron for a gag, and lo, another voice now takes a crack. You're straying from your lot, you've got some nerve. Eyes down, and be obedient, and serve. Your husband, children, house, they are your absolute. Nay, Gloria, you are but rotten fruit. You lean down to hear her better, but sand and stones fall from under your feet and into the underground hall. Gloria looks up and meets your gaze. Thomas pulls you away from the hole. So they're reading poems. Imagine that. They sure hate nobles. And even Gloria. Oh, I never thought your sister could do that, but they're going to get in so much trouble if they get spotted by an adult. Bad mouthing a noble will get you flogged into next week. Not to mention all the trouble you'll get into for writing poems if you're a commoner. You'd better tell your sister to lay off. We'd better stay away from them too. You nod. Being around these people puts Gloria in great danger. But you know your sister. It will not be easy to tell her this. Your adventures in the castle district is done for tonight. You and your friend return home. During dinner, Gloria will not look at you. Her hair is all dishevelled. Is she afraid? Or is she ashamed? You're also worried sick. These literary gatherings may spell danger for your sister. But for an illegitimate child like her, there are so few ways to forge her own path. Dinner is over. Soon, you and Gloria are alone at the table. What are you going to tell her? So, convince Gloria to leave society, keep Gloria's secret. Well, I've kept Stefan's secret, I might as well keep Gloria's secret, so why not? Gloria finally looks at you. You wink at your sister and promise to keep her secret. You praise the poetry you were able to overhear and confess that you were impressed. A big joyous smile appears on her face. I'm so happy, brother. I thought you were about to tell me to stop going there and say what Mother says about my lot. But I'm glad you're not like that. Me and my friends, without our poetry, we don't have anything else left. Nothing but our abysmal daily lives. At least we can laugh about it this way. Get her serious and tell her that her friends need to work much harder to hide their meetings. After all, this secret passion could end badly for them if they get caught. The best way out of this is to meet in a new place every time. You list off several abandoned places nearby where nobody will think to look for them. You promise her that if she ever comes close to danger, you'll be there to protect her. Gloria nods and plants a kiss of sisterly joy on your cheek. Nice. Happy with that. I like that. Trial of the assailants. So, this is the trial for the people that attacked Stefan, which obviously it's not as cut and dry as that is that they were attacking Gloria, but Gregor had the great idea to just leave Gloria out of the whole situation because she is a filthy lowborn and she would just tarnish the whole case. Without her, it's just a group of lowborns have attacked a noble. Easy, they'll be executed, but it's up to us whether we want to support Father in that lie or convince him that he does need to involve Gloria because, you know, she was nearly attacked. I do, however, feel like I need to make the difficult choice here of supporting Father because the reputation of the family is important. Not necessarily now, but further down the line. I can afford to take the hit on my relationship with Gloria. It will help me with Robert. Family unity takes a bit of a hit, but reputation is the lowest and needs to be done. So it's a tough and a bit of a shitty decision, but I'm going to have to go with support Father. You nod in agreement. You'll follow the family's plan for the trial to the letter. A faint smile appears on Father's fatigued face. Thank you, son. This is an important case for our family, and for me as well. I appreciate your support. The day comes. The trial takes place in the lesser hall of the city prefecture. Sir Elborn himself presides as a judge. You're seated next to Father and Stefan. You testify to the court one after another. You echo your brother's testimony to the letter. The young commoners insulted you as you were both walking by the ruins. Then they attacked you. Stefan defended you. The lives of 4 thugs are forfeit. Sir Elborn rises to deliver the sentence. The court of Anazot judges you guilty of assaulting Stefan Brante, a noble. All 4 defendants are sentenced to true death by hanging. There's no wind, but you feel a gust sweep through the hall. The defendants turn pale. Their mothers are bawling and crying. Everybody in the court feels the dreadful power of the law, and it's stern and just. That very power has been invoked by this sentence, and by the very sentence the lives of the 4 young men are literally forfeit for all eternity. The gallows await. Stefan and Grandfather stand in the front row. The wood creaks, the trapdoors open under the young men's feet. They dangle in the air, wheezing and reaching out for support with their feet in their final moments. Father lets out an inaudible sigh of relief. It's all over now. When Gloria comes back home the day after, she refuses to eat dinner and locks herself in her room. Before she leaves, however, you notice a scratch on her face, and her hair is dishevelled. You go to her room and knock at the door, but she'll not open. Then she finally replies. She's already gone to bed, and you should leave. Did you do the right thing during the trial? Your sister is still being bullied. No one knows she has a family to defend her, and Gloria does not want to be defended now. Those 4 commoners saw no mercy. Their lives ended for assaulting a nobleman. What did you seek to prove with this, and to whom? Was it worth it in the end? No. I feel bad, but it's a tough decision. I need to make some tough decisions. I don't have to like them. In fact, I very much don't like them, but... Okay, so Grandfather Gregor Brante is on his deathbed, which is good. This is definitely good. But he, in his final moments, wants to cleanse the family and earn his spot at the top of the pillar. So decides that he has to burn Mother to death because, you know, he's wonderful. So he's gone into her room at night with a lantern, and yeah, he's doing that. So there's nothing I'm going to gain by running away and rescue. In fact, well, it takes a hit on both of them because I'm assuming my house goes down. Oh, let it all happen as Grandfather wished. I die. Interesting. I mean, either way, Gregor dies, which is really the best outcome we could have ever hoped for. So I lose 5 willpower. That's okay, but we get a boost on nobility and ingenuity. And he likes me less, but that's fine because, you know, he's dead now. So, this is cool, exactly as we did in the other playthrough. So I'm on 10 willpower. I've got good nobility and good ingenuity, so not bad. Not bad at all. So, okay, and we're at the last respects for Gregor, so we're going to do the Blood Tide, which is a noble ritual. So, don't know what to do here, actually. Whether I do the Blood Tide or whether I do just give the dagger back. You refuse to participate. It does give me a boost with Nathan. I'm not sure. I think I am going to bleed. So I'll do this as I did before. Cool. So plus with Father. And I have joined the blood tide of the Brante family. That may help me further down the line, I can't remember. Now Sophia has run away from her, effectively run away from slavery. So I can help Sophia flee now. Yes. Oh, I have a choice. I have a choice. I have a choice. I have a choice. So yeah, Sophia has escaped from Otten, she had been basically given to by her family as a servant girl, who he had been somewhat mistreating. We've found her hiding, and now they have found us in this house. So I'm going to help Sophia flee, I think is the best option. Because this is what I wanted to do before, but couldn't. You grab Sophia's hand as you run down the stairs to the old cellar. She resists you at first until she reads your lips. There's a secret way out. You sneak away into the cellar, leading the way. The floorboards groan above your heads as the Agaian and his men search the house. But only children who grew up in this district know that the cellar leads to the neighbouring district. You lead Sophia to the hole in the cellar floor and help her squeeze in. There it is, an old tunnel that leads to a well 2 streets away. None of the children know who dug it, yet you played here and chased each other through it so many times as a lad. And now, this secret passage will rescue Sophia from genuine pursuit. Soon as you're in the well, there's nothing above you save for a sky full of clouds. You wait until you hear no more steps around you, then climb out the well and help Sophia out. You lead the way through the slums around the temple district, the easiest place to disappear. A dog in a nearby house starts barking. One of Otten's men appears in front of you. You take a step back as your fingers search for a brick, ready to defend Sophia no matter the cost. She squeezes your hand, and then you hear a high-pitched scream of rage. A flash of yellow light stuns you. In the blink of an eye, Otten's man freezes and collapses, unable to get up. Sophia's eyes are no longer sky blue, they're yellow now. She lets go of your hand. You recoil in fear. You weren't supposed to see that, Niklaus. Don't worry, I won't hurt you, but I won't let them take me. I won't go back to Otten after this. I need to run. Run as far as my legs will take me. Thank you for helping me, and farewell. Sophia gives you a gentle kiss on the cheek and disappears down the dark alleyway. You stand there, stunned. Sophia's a witch. Her magic bound Otten's man by the arms and legs. It made him unable to move. You hear Otten's screams of rage and a thumping of his men's feet, but Sophia is long gone. It's a shame that was all you could do for her. The runaway girl becomes talk of your district for an entire week. You overhear that Sophia managed to flee the city. The Ottens are furious. After this sudden appearance, she disappears from your life once more. You'll not see her again until much, much later. Cool, I'm in a much better standing with Sophia. Which is good. This is where I wanted to be before. So, Bloodstained Sermon, Fotis has, he's got the ball rolling on the new faith, which is the faith stating that the twins never actually mentioned the Lots. The Lots are a man-made construct, and the new faith wants rid of the Lots, wants man to create his own destiny. I notice he's preaching that. He gets murdered, because of course he does. Now, my last night before going off to the city, I'm going to spend time with Nathan, because my relationship is lowest with Nathan compared to everyone else. Yeah, and I could do with willpower, so see what Nathan has to say about my goodbyes. Nathan's already in bed, snoring. You approach your brother quietly and pat him on the head. He's startled, but starts smiling with joy when he realises it's you. Hey, can we come outside? I need your help with something. You creep silently downstairs. The air outside is damp, and drops of dew glisten in the night. Nathan drags you towards the bushes. A spotted kitten looks at you from the bushes with sad eyes. You see a bowl of water and some scraps of food next to it. Look, he ran into our yard yesterday. See, he's got a broken paw. We need to save the poor kitten. You pat Nathan on the head. Together, you sneak the poor animal into the house and take him to the storage closet. Then, you close the closet door and begin the treatment. If anyone is clumsy in your family, it's Nathan. Yet his hands are unusually accurate and calm as he binds the kitten's paw. You start chatting as you treat the kitten. As you think out loud about living in the capital and working towards your goal, Nathan strokes the poor animal's wet fur. He sighs. It's tough for me, thinking about being a grown-up. I'm not much of anything, even now. I wish I could be like you. You sure know where you're going and who you're going to be. You shrug. No, I mean it. I can't be like that. They say I'm going to study too and go to Eterna and become a priest or go to the college, but there's no way I can make it there. Does that mean there's nothing else out there for me? You'll be leaving soon, and I'll be all alone here. You'll write to me, I know you will, and you'll come back one day, but I'm scared. Scared I might lose my way when you're not around. You'll come back, but it will be different. You'll be different. I'll be different too. You swear to Nathan that even if everything changes, you will always be his brother. You will always be there to offer him advice and support. You have no doubts that he'll find his way in life. It just takes time to find yourself, sometimes more than you might expect. The sun's about to rise. You should rest before the long trip, but you're not that tired at all. Nevertheless, it's time for bed. Before you leave, Nathan hugs you again. Please promise you'll come back, Niklaus. You swear to him that you will. You get into bed and fade away into a gentle, happy sleep. They'll be waiting for you back here, no matter what. Oh, that was wholesome. This brings us to the end of Adolescence. So 5 nobility, 6 ingenuity, 2 spirituality, 15 willpower, and I have died once. So I've still got some more deaths in the bank. This is good. This is good. Youth time.
Leaving my hometown behind, I set out for the capital of the Empire. There, I would discover my role in society.
Yeah, I didn't think that these would actually, like, dip into other ones. Maybe should have planned that ahead a bit more. The manipulation is the one I need to focus on. I think I need to get up to 13 manipulation. I'll check that in a minute. Okay, so yeah, Path of the Lotless. And the Lotless at large. So yeah, manipulation 13. So that's what I need to focus on. As long as I can get up to manipulation 13, we'll be okay. That's what I'm going for here. And if that doesn't work out, then I'll have to make a last minute adjustment and try and pick up the pieces. So I'm going to do what I did before and listen to Arkwright's speech, because that will get me plus manipulation. I'll lose a bit of willpower, but that's fine. Yeah, I'll get me manipulation and eloquence. Now, I'm going to meet the noble youths just to see what that is, because I know what Arkwright's speech is. It'll be interesting to see what the noble youths say. You approach the young nobles and introduce yourself tactfully. Your father, a judge, has sent you here to study, you explain. Will they mind showing you around the capital? The nobles eye you uncertainly and whisper to each other. You prepare to face their rejection, but to your surprise, they agree. When the clock tower strikes 8, your new acquaintances proceed to a rich house not too far away. Candlelight fills the halls before you. Reflected in abundant mirrors and gilded picture frames, manservants bring drinks and refreshments to every guest. There are the sounds of music and laughter and small talk. Here and there you see couples dancing to the music. It appears you've made it to a small noble party. The nobles are gathered in groups. You take the time to get introduced to each of them and join in their small talk. Some discuss their studies at the college, while others relay fresh gossip. Have you heard that a Melanidas carriage was seen in the city the other day? You mentioned how once you encountered Octavia Melanidas, daughter and heiress to the Archduke of Margra, at a square in Alizot. These words draw a small crowd. The Melanidas dynasty rarely, if ever, visits Eterna. They say it's the only house that can stand its ground against the Imperial Tempest dynasty. One young man even allows himself a little joke. They say the great Archaean houses turn to a Melanidas only when a Tempest needs to be refused. After all, only the Melanidas dynasty still knows how to say no. But there's more. It turns out all humans owe the Melanidas dynasty for their foray into nobility. Shah Melanidas was the Archaean who opened the first college, and his graduates were the first to be ennobled by the mantle. To feed and nourish their barren lands, the Dukes of Margra took to industry and began adopting innovative industrial and social practices. The dynasty's motto is remembrance and majesty, but strife and change would suit better. Then the nobles start discussing the other great Archaean dynasties. The Tempest dynasty is the first of the first. Naturally, marked by the twins anointed to rule. All Tempests are known for their sincerity, often bordering on a volatile temper. Yet it's this very passion that has led them throughout history. The Tempests have been chosen by the gods to rule the Empire. The Diamonds dynasty are the main supporters of the Emperor's family, honour personified. The Diamonds preside at the Arachnean courts of honour that remain throughout the Empire in spite of the public taboo. These courts hold more sway over the laws and lives of the nobility than imperial edicts or prefectural authorities. Some mention Patriarch Junius Diamonds, the black sheep of his own dynasty. He preaches the new faith that rejects the lots and stirs the minds of the common folk. The Orgriff dynasty is another noble bloodline favoured by the Empire. They zealously advocate the twins' faith and see the Empire as the union between heaven and earth. Every year, the Orgriffs donate enough funds to build new temples across the Empire. The Monrogue dynasty is an ancient and controversial name. The Monrogues often speak in favour of removing humans from nobility, restoring nobility as a solely Arachnean privilege, and returning all human-manned offices in the Empire to the Arachneans. Many gossipers accuse the Monrogues of plotting against the rule of the Tempests to bring back the old Arachnean Republic and the joint rule of the great Arachnean dynasties as it existed long before the Emperors first came to be. The discussions of courtly affairs and noble dynasties soon gives way to cultured entertainments. Expensive wine flows like water. You, too, ask a couple of noble ladies to dance and show your skills. You return to your lodging room in the small hours of the night with just enough strength left to undress before your aching head and feet make you collapse. For the first time in your life, you've mingled with a noble crowd on your own, without your family's aid. It's not bad. Not bad. It's got a lot more insight into the lore as well. There were a couple of families there that I hadn't even heard of before. Luke's son. So we've ended up kind of at a speech on the new faith, which inquisitors of the church have broken up and split us into like small groups, and we've had somebody come to us and say, "Oh, let me tell you about the faith and why it's so brilliant," so we can listen to his counsel, debate him, or resist him. I resisted him before, which increases my diplomacy. Which I think I'm going to do again. I don't really need anything else there, so we'll just skip past this one. Will I regret that? I don't know. Anyway, there is a schism in the church, and there is discontent. There we go. So this is my first introduction to the Lotless, I think. So, hanging out with a group of my besties, and they are splitting into different groups for the rest of the evening's entertainment. We can either go to the dueling club, go to the secret salon, or go to the Mark Neon Society. So I'm going to go to the secret salon, which is what we did before, which is where we get a glimpse of Sophia once more. Before it all goes to hell and we have to run for our lives. It's amazing how much quicker I'm getting through the story by skipping lots. There we go. And here is Sophia. Sophia has come to say hello. So she's come by and said, "Hey, it's me. Remember me? You knew me from childhood. I'm still alive. Also, I need your help with something." So she says, she tells me about somebody called Dextra who they taught at the college. However, they forged their papers. They are actually a commoner. They're not of noble birth, which you have to be to teach at the college. He faked his papers and is about to be found out and therefore executed. So we need to help him escape. So I am obviously going to do as I did before and help her. Even though it doesn't help with my manipulation, nothing helped with my manipulation there, so fine, so we'll do, again, as we did before, help them out. I feel like a fair amount of this part, anyway, is going to be to do with, like, kind of the same as what we did before.
I will never forget that day. For it was then that I chose the path I would walk for the rest of my life.
So the college is about to be shut down. And I need to... This is where I become a member of the Lotless properly. I can literally only follow the Lotless, which is fine. This is what I wanted to do. Perfect. So yeah, we're on exactly the same trajectory as we were before. Which is good. And hopefully I can now start building manipulation. Because if I can't get that up, I'm in trouble. So if I keep, so Thomas has come along because he's joined the army basically. He's come along saying, I don't know if we'll see each other again or when we'll see each other again, but I made a friendship ring. let's be besties forever. And well, I am besties with him, so I can either take it, get the bond of friendship, or keep things as they are and get willpower. I'm going to take the ring. Which I'm pretty sure is what I did before as well, because I love Thomas. Thomas is my bestest buddy in the whole wide world. And now we are bound by friendship. Forever and a day. Me and sweet Thomas. Sitting in a tree. I'm concerned my manipulation isn't going to be good enough. What's my backup plan here? I don't have a backup plan here. Oh, shit. Okay, I just need to hope that this works. So we've been asked by Sophia to start building up numbers for the lot list. So we've got a couple of obviously print leaflets we can only do if our manipulation is at 10, which it ain't. And I'm worried. This is what I'm worried about, that because my manipulation's not high enough at the moment, I'm not going to have the options to then increase it further, which is the problem. So we're going to go with Condemn the Nobles, which means I'll lose a bit of willpower, but I do get more scheming and more eloquence out of it. That puts me on 5 willpower, which hopefully is enough. You gather the students you rescued a few days ago and ask them a question. Are they ready to tell people the truth about what happened? They cheer to that, of course. Everyone should know about the injustice perpetrated by the nobles and what Archduke Monroe said, and those who experienced it firsthand at the college should be the ones to spread the word. You discuss the details of the plan together. Right now, all you have to do is open their eyes, convince them that this has to stop, get them ready. There's no need to identify yourselves as the lot list just yet. That would only cause doubt and suspicion. You have to do this step by step. And step 1 is to make the commoners of Eterna realise how the nobles and Archnians are treating them, and make sure they know about the incidents at the college. Once you're certain that this has been done, recruiting new members will be easier. Right now, you should describe the lot lists yourselves as you would describe someone else. There was a group of people who rescued the students. They risked themselves to save innocent lives. Nobody should get caught. You keep talking until you're sure everyone understands this. If there's a risk, they should run. They should not begin until they're in a place crowded with commoners, like the outskirts of the city or the markets. The ex-students nod to you. Their faces are serious. One of them furrows his brow in concentrations as though he would prefer to write it all down. There are no questions, however. You spread out across the street of Eterna early next morning in groups of 3. The plan is simple. 2 of the members of each group will find a place in the market where they can be heard by merchants and passers-by, then start loudly discussing the college incident. Once they've attracted enough gawkers, one of them will get up on a platform of some kind and loudly tell everyone about the incident. The 3rd member will keep watch a ways away in case the gendarmes come. You meet back in the evening and share the day's results. 3 of you had to run away from the gendarmes, but the others were more successful. One young man even got a few free drinks at a tavern, and his friends had to help him back. You agreed to continue the next day. 3 days of speeches is enough to fill the streets of Eterna with rumours. Soon you start hearing people talking. The nobles have done it this time. We'd better do something. It's time for change. The next time you meet Sophia, she rewards you with a reserved praise. Well done, Brante. I expected nothing less from you. I'm glad to have you among us. Nice. Nice. Now give me some manipulation, please. I don't think I'm going to end up with enough manipulation here, which is a real problem. Because there's before the march, and then there's what comes after the march. And I don't think in that time there's enough choices to make. So I think I'm going to have to screw the lot list once again. But either way, so we need to set up for the march that we're going to have. So I'm thinking mobilise the commoners, because that gets me some manipulation. So, oh, this is what I did before. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. It's not. This isn't going to end well at all. March of the Collars. This is where it all goes wrong. So I did begin the assault with 4, because that's all I could do. But I can hold Sophia back this time, which gets me manipulation. Still not going to be enough manipulation, but it's a good thing to do, because Sophia was just rushing in and it was all going to go wrong. So you grab Sophia by the shoulders and demand she stops this madness. If she keeps spurring people on, it will only lead to bloodshed. She stares at you for a moment, then stops shouting. It's not the crowd you must command right now, you tell Sophia. She should focus on the legionnaires who are blocking your way. They're confused. They want no bloodshed. They'll break ranks and retreat if only she can convince them. Sophia holds her arms up and approaches the legionnaires. The sun is shining in her eyes. Enough! We are not here for bloodshed. We are here to end it. The people are angry, but theirs is a righteous anger. The people on those pyres are their children, their relatives, their loved ones. They are innocent souls. Anyone can be born a mage. None of these people chose to be this way. Sophia's speech has a strange, almost hypnotic effect on the legionnaires. I feel that's probably her magic as opposed to her words. Some of them suddenly lower their swords. Their ranks are broken, the Inquisitors rush to prevent this, but there are too few of them. The lotless start running for the pyres. Hands start untying ropes and scattering firewood. The mages are free, but they're frightened and confused. A young woman in an Inquisitor's cassock helps another woman with golden hair down from the unlit pyre. Did you just hear her apologise? The Inquisitor looks at you next. Thank you. Jen! Cries of victory fill St. Ignatius Square, but your triumph is short-lived. Those cries may be loud, but thundering hooves and clanging steel are louder. You hear Legion cavalry advancing on the square. You glance around and run for the nearest back street. You dash through a house, terrifying its inhabitants, then run through the back door and onto another street. You hear screams and the sounds of clanging metal behind you, so you keep running through the maze of streets, not even bothering to look behind you to see if there's anyone in pursuit. You run for as long as you can, until your foot catches a loose brick on the road and you almost smash your teeth in. Only then do you stop. It's quiet. You don't recognise this part of Eterna. There's not a soul around you. It's hard to believe that this city can contain both this tranquility and the hell of a few minutes ago. You find a flop house on a nearby street and rent a dirty cubbyhole of a room, no questions asked. You pay for a few days' stay at once. It's a good thing you kept your money on you today. Then you walk upstairs to the room and collapse onto the bed. A wave of shakedowns and arrest washes over the capital over the next few days. You wait it out in that room. There's no news about the lotless. It's as though none of it ever happened. You go to St. Ignatius Square only 3 weeks later. The cobblestones are covered with soot, and you see spots of dried blood. In the bushes nearby, you find several broken collars. Our cause is just. I don't like it. Well, I've rescued Alice, who's an enigmatic singer, known as the Golden Voice. I don't know who that is. But she's not dead now, so that's something. No, I'm worried about my manipulation. Yep, because this is where it all goes to shit. So, after laying low for a little while, there was a sign to say that the lotless were meeting. We go for a meeting, and Sophia says, I have a favour to ask everybody. Whatever happens next, don't do anything foolish. And then she uses her magic, and we all get restrained, and the guards come in. Which, at the time, had me like, Sophia, no! But now, I still don't know whether or not she's good or bad. Whether she was kind of forced into it or not. I don't know. I refuse to believe she is a big bad, and she is just forced into making a tough decision, like I'm going to be forced into making in a minute. And last time I resisted, and I think people died as a result, because she kind of said afterwards, like, I told you not to do anything, why did you do something so stupid? So I am just going to surrender. Because it gives me plus willpower. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but I'm going to do it anyway. No, it's done now. The deed is done. You collapse against the wall as the spell gets the better of you. You're barely strong enough to keep your eyes open. Suddenly, a boot kicks you roughly in the gut. You double over in pain. Sophia is right next to you, breathing heavily. You lie slumped on the floor, expecting to be kicked again, but they don't touch you anymore. She leans over you and whispers, I'm glad you didn't try anything foolish. Now I know you'll be safe. A soldier's boot steps just shy of your face. There's blood on it. Now I know you'll be safe. Sophia is your only ticket out of this. Can you even trust her after such a betrayal? Can you even believe in her after all the lies she used to trick you and the lotless? Crawl aside, Brante. and stay out of this until we're done. Men clad in black armour quickly tie up your friends and take them outside, one by one. You watch Sophia as you wait for them to get to you. Your breathing becomes calmer, your doubt slowly dissipates. You have to trust Sophia in this. She'll find a way to keep you safe. You hear heavy steps again. They tie you up, tightening the knot around your wrists so hard your fingers turn white. You're dragged outside roughly and thrown into a windowless wagon along with the other Lotless. Soon, the wagon shifts, then starts moving. You're being taken somewhere. To prison. Being taken to prison. Where I will now set out the Lotless, because I have no choice. Hello, Philippe Alfero. My least favourite person ever. Wow. I can just take true death at this point. Amazing. So if I had 2 more scheming, I could have done this. Okay. I knew it was going to come to this. Damn it. Damn it. Oh, shit. So I have a choice. I have a choice here, which is what I'm conflicted with. I either betray the remaining Lotless, I end up in Philippe Alfero's servitude, Sophia goes back down to indifference, which isn't a great position to be in, and then I try and build up the pieces in peacetime, or I reject it, we take death, I end this episode, and we start a redemption episode 2, back at youth, and I'll try and prep better for manipulation. I don't know what to do. Nope. Decision made. Ending it. Game over. So, Philippe Alfero can just suck a big old dick. I'm not even going to give him the satisfaction of executing me. I'm just going to end this here. And I'm going to, before I start on the next episode, I'm going to go back. I'm going to look at the right way of doing it to like have enough manipulation stats, because I thought I was at the start of this, I thought I was going to be okay with manipulation, but I hadn't considered that I needed to kind of think about it in advance with other stats. So I think I'm going to have to start a new game, go through, make certain decisions to get those stats up that will then put me in a good stead, because I want the Lotless to survive. That is my thing. I want the Lotless to survive. That's been my goal from the beginning of this. That's part of my redemption, is that the Lotless have to survive, and then I have to bring the Lots down. So if the Lotless are going to die out and be sacrificed, then that's game over. As far as I'm concerned, we've hit game over. This has been my true death, without giving him the dignity of giving me a true death. So, okay. This is it. We're ending this one. So, if you want to check this out for yourself, then the link to the game page is in the description. If you have any comments about this, or if there's a certain type of playthrough you would like me to do in the future, then let me know, leave me a comment, and I will do it. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, then why don't you go ahead and hit the like button, the cruel hands of fate that is the subscribe button. Make sure you that bad boy. And until next time, I love you, bye.